Hi everyone, how we doing today? It's Adeleke. I'm back in the building. Guess what we're gonna be talking about today? Before I start, just introduce myself for the people that don't know me. I'm Adeleke Adeshina. I'm a third-year medical student currently at UMDNJ School of Osteopathic Medicine in New Jersey. I invented the Think Positive Incorporated website. My job here is to try to make the lives of so many medical students that go through this every year. They complain. I feel like you need a little better understanding of a lot of concepts. So let's get it rolling. Today we're going to talk about liver function test, okay? Kind of break it down. You go to the hospital, the attendant asks you, hey buddy, so what does that liver function test tell you? You're like, AST, what am I supposed to do with it? Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. So, let's talk about LFTs, right? Liver function test. So, just before we start, a little, overview of, things you kind of know about. I kind of like to go back to the basics, okay? So, the liver, everyone knows the liver is the largest organ in your body. It's big. It's right in right upper quadrant, right? So, it's pretty huge. It's a humongous little thing. I kind of like to draw, so let's see if I can get that, and there you go, something like that. Not that sharp, but that's the trick, right? So just kind of review a little about liver anatomy. Got a couple of lobes in the liver, right and left lobe, little quadrate lobe, that stuff like that. That's not what we're really gonna focus on. But I think before I go into liver function test, it's extremely important that you know anatomy. It's like learning how to drive a car. If you don't know where the steering is and you don't know where the gear is, just forget it. Don't bother driving the car. You're not gonna ever, but if I know where the steering is, the gear is, okay, I know where the pedals are, okay, now you know the parts, then you learn how to drive the car. It's called anatomy and physiology, learning the function. So, kind of just go a little overview about liver, what the liver looks like. Liver is made out of hepatocytes, right? We all know that. There's the little hexagonal structure they probably taught you in medical school, something like that, and right in the middle, guess what? You got the central vein. But before we start right there, I kind of want to bring your memories back a little bit. Let me erase this, and let's talk a little bit about how things get to the liver. Everybody eats food. We take drugs. We ingest alcohol. You take all these vitamin pills, whatnot, and they all have to go into your gut. They go into your gut, and when you get to your gut, they all have to go through what? Little enterocytes. They absorb it. The absorption gets into the capillary system. The capillaries have to shun through the venous system, and this venous system ends up this tiny, big little vein. So they're called the superior mesenteric artery, which comes up like that, right? And the inferior mesenteric artery, who actually has a friend of his, who is the splenic vein. I'm sorry, I meant to say vein. That's my fault. So this superior mesenteric vein, inferior mesenteric vein, and the splenic vein, they all come together to form something called as beautiful as the portal vein. So basically what's that saying? Everything I eat, everything I put in my mouth, it's basically going to go through my belly. Bam! It's always going to go through the liver. The liver is like the gateway into medical school, right? Gateway into it. If you're going to get a job, you got to go through the boss. You got to go to an interview. So it's like everything that gets into the body has to go through the liver. Your liver must be really important. But why? Hold on. So you tell me every junk, toxins, food, particles, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, all have to go to the liver? Yeah, it has to. Yeah, I know. Why? I know that. Hold up. That's just one. So I'm going to tell you a mnemonic and you're going to be like, no! I'm like, yeah! So, the portal vein, right? So, I'll put that PV, okay? Then, you have an hepatic artery, right? I know, basic physiology, we learned it, we forgot it, yeah. Remember, it has to be artery to arterials, arterials to vein, to arterials to capillaries, capillaries to venous, venous to vein. It's the same thing in the entire body, trust me. So, I'm not going to go through the whole, slew you have to learn an anatomy because that's already a pain. So let's just put the hepatic artery right next to it. So that's two things going in, right? And one thing coming out. Called your bile ducts, right? You have intrahepatic bile ducts that come in to kind of form the common bile duct, a little bit of the cystic duct, and bam, you got your gallbladder, and eventually you have the common bile duct right here. This is and eventually it drains into your duodenum. So this is extremely important. That's the reason why I'm going through this anatomy, because a lot of students don't realize, why is he talking about it? I don't care. No, you should care. You know why? Because everything I talk about from now henceforth, you'll be able to make sense out of it. Because if you don't know how things are going in, and eventually, like I said, the portal vein, the hepatic artery, they're all going to dump into the central vein, right? They form little capillaries, right? So let's assume I'm just going to draw this right here to the left. I don't know if you guys can see it. That's it. And little capillaries. And the capillaries are kind of fenestrated a little bit. And they're called sinusoids, right? And eventually the sinusoids are going to drain. And they all basically drain into the central vein. But from the central vein, has to drain out of the liver, because it has to be, if there's a door in front of the house, better be a door at the back of the house called the hepatic vein. And the hepatic vein will now drain into your inferior vena cava. All the way back into your right heart, right atrium, bam, you got a cardiac outflow. That's kind of the basics, but now it's kind of making messy. It looks like a little messy, but let me erase a couple of that. But that's basically all you have to know, because the reason is when I start talking about, oh, your AST is up, your ALT is up, oh, your alk-phos is up, and blah, 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 you're like, where's that all coming from? So I kind of want you to kind of get the big picture here. This is the big picture. If you know this, no attending can, kind of like make you look stupid. I mean, you're like, oh. So the reason why this is important is because the way we look at disease processes and how it can cause these damages to the liver, which is made of hepatocytes, is because it could be pre-hepatic, intrahepatic, or post-hepatic. That means before, in, or out. Right? So, let's check it out. Let's talk about liver function test. I'm going to erase this for a minute and let the party begin. So, you have the liver cells are made up of hepatocytes. Hepatocytes, hepato means liver, cytes means cells, and these cells, they do a lot of work. A lot of biochemical reactions occurs in the liver, a lot of processing. So the most important thing you have to know is there's two liver function enzymes that we mark, they are markers of liver damage. And I don't know why this marker is not working. It's called aspartate transaminase and alanine transaminase. These are the two markers that shows a living injury. Basically, it's like somebody, you're chewing something in your mouth and somebody like gives you a punch in the cheek, you spit it out. Exactly. That when the liver is damaged, it spits out these enzymes. And that's what we measure when we do it in a liver function in the hospital. So, in short, we call that AST, and this is ALT. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is what can make these guys go up. So, the most common cause in the United States, the most common cause of liver damage is what? Guess what it is? Oh man, probably did this last night. It's alcohol, buddy. Right? It's alcohol. Right? Alcohol is the most common cause of liver damage. Right? But you have to drink a lot of alcohol for a very extensive amount of time to actually cause a lot of damage. And there will be another chapter that I'll actually dedicate on how alcohol actually causes liver damage. But what I want you to know is alcohol, basically in short, is converted to aldehyde by alcohol dehydrogenase. And aldehyde can now be converted into acetate by acetaldehyde dehydrogenase. I'm not even gonna bother writing the enzyme because I want to talk about that. But what I want you to understand is alcohol produces a toxin, and this toxin actually stimulates a cell called the stellate cells. they're kind of like capillary cells. They're right below the capillaries. They normally store vitamin A. However, these cells, when they get stimulated by alcohol, which is due to its toxins, cause them to lay down collagen. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Remember I told you like you got that little Perry-Porter system with the little hexagon? You got a hepatocyte that's getting exchanged between blood vessels, and all of a sudden somebody's putting like fibrosis, a little bit of collagen in between. That's what we call cirrhosis. And once you lay down collagen, you get the fibrosis, and that's what actually causes the liver damage. But this is after extensive amount of time. So obviously, one of the most common things you're going to notice in a patient with alcoholic liver is it looks fatty initially, and eventually it becomes cirrhotic, it becomes hard as a rock. That's about it. I don't think you want the liver to look like that. So, one thing you look at it, you get your CBC, you get your liver function test, and you know that the AST is actually greater than ALT. That's actually the only exception when you actually see AST greater than ALT. And I'm going to talk about ALT in a minute, but what I want you to know is there's a 2-to-1 ratio that you would notice. So something like 400 to about 200. So when you actually do your liver function test, you see that it's elevated. So watch out for that. It's always a 2-to-1 ratio. And the mnemonic, if you ever use first aid for USMLE, it's toasted. So when you drink alcohol, it's kind of like you are toasted, which means AST is greater than ALT. That being said, let's talk a little about ALT. ALT is very specific to the liver. It's the most specific liver enzyme. And you know how I remember it? L is for liver. So ALT. Because it just makes my life easier. I kind of make like people's life easy. That's what I do every day. But it's, it's tough. I know. So ALT is specific to the liver. So anytime you get asked, you know ALT is specifically targeted the liver. So now, how do we measure ALTs and ASTs? Let's say you get a mildly elevated ALT and AST. That might tell you the person is probably having some kind of chronic viral illness, hepatitis going on, causing the liver enzymes to kind of get damaged and spit out stuff. So you probably see the ratios a little bit elevated, just mildly in the hundreds. And you see, it's just suspect of some kind of like viral infection, and usually chronic. If it's I'll say you get about between like in the hundreds to thousands. I was suspecting acute, so I'll say between 100 to 1,000. This is like between like in the hundreds. I'm suspecting an acute viral infection. And what would that kind of be? Some kind of hepatitis, kind of going into the liver. Now greater than 10,000, that is some serious acute viral illness, some necrosis going on in the liver. It's just spitting out all this liver enzymes. So we kind of get a ballpark what's going on. But you know what? That's not good enough. What are the things that can actually cause hepatitis? Hepatitis is actually just a general term. You know that, right? I hope you're aware. Itis just means inflammation, some kind of inflammation going on in the liver. So the way it's actually broken down, just gonna put this on the side a little bit, and just know we're still talking about AST and ALT. Is I found this beautiful mnemonic and step up to medicine, and I thought everybody should just know this, because if you just know this, your life just becomes so great, man. Check this out. If you can count A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, you basically walk around feeling like you're the done. So the first thing that can cause, other things actually can cause elevated AST and ALT. And this is, remember, we're only talking intrahepatic, right? So check this out. Autoimmune hepatitis. Right? A. B for hepatitis. Hey, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you learned a lot. Are you studying for the USMLE Step 1 or Step 2? Are you studying for the NCLEX, or you're currently in nursing school as a nursing student? Are you a PA student currently in school or studying for your PANCE exam? Or are you a nurse practitioner student
or trying to take your MP board exam, listen, I've got super awesome content for you. If you truly love this video and it simplified your learning process, I want you to check out my website below. I've listed all the list of exams, whether you're studying for any of this board exam, and all I want you to do is click on the link right now below so that you can take you directly to my website. For USMLE, just go to smashusmle.com. For NCLEX, go to crushnclex.com. And if you're studying for the PANCE exam, the nurse practitioner exam, or you're studying for your internal medicine board exam, just click below and it'll take you directly to ftplectures.com. Listen, I can't wait to help you. If you need to get in touch with me, just get to my website, you're able to reach me directly, and we can work together one-on-one. Listen, you're super awesome, and my goal here is to help your dream come true. If you want to be a doctor, want to be a nurse practitioner, a registered nurse, or physician assistant, I'm here to help you get to that next level with your medical knowledge. Let's save the world together. I love you guys. You guys are super awesome, and do not forget to click on the link below to be able to get to my website. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You guys have a great day. Let's go.